the profit on the table. If somebody's willing to pay 5,000 dirhams for something that I'm selling for 1,000, I would be pretty silly to sell it for 1,000, right? So we'll see the margins coming down, and the benefit to us as investors is if you have a product invested, you are in a position to negotiate and say, listen, I can only afford to pay this much now, or I need my payment plan change. Will it happen? Not overnight, but when the changes take place above our head, it's bound to happen, okay? Sorry, just a moment. I have a point here. Another thing that since if you follow the press, over the last couple of years, Dubai has been known to make some announcements of some fantastic projects. I mean, if the zaniest, wackiest, weirdest building in the world, if you want to develop it, go to Dubai, you'll find somebody to fund the idea, all right? The reality is there is something called a rotating tower. It rotates once every 24 hours or something like that, so you get a different view every hour. I mean, a building like that, how much would it cost to build? How much would it cost to maintain? Is it going to rotate for the next 20 years? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, the clock tower in Dubai with nothing on it gets stuck sometimes. So how do you expect this building to sustain itself? It's not. So what I'm saying is that today an investor had a choice of being in a rotating tower that's losing money and a straight tower that is earning money. You know where they're going to go, right? Definitely for the second. There'll be some policy changes that you'll see. The policy changes at a higher level. RERA is one, but above that, there have been changes at quasi-government level like IMAR and so on. IMAR has, for example, allowed, this is hearsay, I haven't actually heard it directly from IMAR, but from a customer who benefited from this, where he bought something quite expensive and he was able to use the funds from that project to fund a previous project he had bought, okay? So don't go to IMAR and say, Mahmoud Ratansi said that, I've just heard it, and find out for yourself. I haven't got any IMAR stock at the moment, so I'm okay. Nakhil has, for example, has reduced the transfer fee. So where they used to charge a certain amount, a percentage of the value of the transfer, they now charge a fixed amount. I think it's 5,000 dirhams. Again, this will spread across the industry, and you'll see that it'll become more economical for you to actually acquire a property. Dubai is one of the markets which makes it very difficult to buyer to get in. The buyer has to pay the transfer. The buyer has to pay the commission. Why? Because it was a seller's market. Well, things have changed. Okay, so you will see, this will be a benefit. We'll all benefit from this. Another thing that the Dubai demographic makes clear is that the majority of the expatriates in Dubai, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, are renting still, even if they own a home or whatever. But the majority at the moment currently rents, and simply because there is so much rental stock, even if the rental keeps going up, you still find it for your convenience sake, because it's near the mosque or the kids' school or whatever. You continue to rent rather than own. But over time, there is an emerging market for homes in Dubai as they come on stream. And finally, we talked about the Sovereign Wealth Fund. We talked about, you see, the thing is that we are fortunate to be in an environment or in a geographic location that is liquid. Now, it's all relative. I don't know how much liquid it is, but a recent figure in the Gulf News 4 days ago, $725 billion is the Sovereign Wealth Fund associated with Abu Dhabi, actually, not Dubai, not UAE, but Abu Dhabi, let's just clarify. Now, where they have sourced depressed assets overseas, it is a likelihood they will source depressed assets in their own backyard. Now, depressed means basically that they aren't going to go to a developer and say, look, we'll pay you all your costs plus your marketing and your premium, but we'll say, look, we'll let you get off the hook and buy what you're selling for 5,000 for 1,000. You're not losing money. We're helping you out, so it's a win-win, hopefully. So these are some of the changes that we anticipate to come about. Again, like I said, it's not going to happen overnight. Sit tight, put on your belts, and see how it goes. Another thing I wanted to touch upon is an important event. You see, the thing is that we have to look at, as Mukhtar Bhai pointed out, 60% of the world's GDP is associated with the United States, right? When they sneeze, the whole world catches a cold, right? So right now, the Republican government their fingers are pointed at them for some of the economic issues that are being faced by the world today. The last 8 years, the defense spending and so on has caused a lot of pressure on the fiscal surplus or deficit, whatever. Now, historically, Democrat in the White House is actually good news. When Kennedy came in, Okay, he was assassinated 2 years later, and Lyndon Johnson took over. But the United States in the 60s saw a 107-month economic expansion. 107-month economic expansion, right? When the Democrats were there. In the 1990s, when Clinton and co were around, 120-month economic expansion. So the only time the 107-month expansion was exceeded was by Clinton, again a Democrat. Will this be a game changer? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But it's something to sort of consider in our overall, when you're looking at things at a sort of global level. Okay? So what do you do when you don't know what to do? There are two types of investors here. What we're talking about right now here is not a one-size-fits-all solution. Okay? Basically that suggests there's a fork in the road, by the way, in case if you're wondering what that is. Okay. So you're sort of like deciding which way should I go. The question really that'll come about is, I don't know how your financial position is. I don't know how capable you are to continue payments. You may have already made a killing in the real estate industry, got out. Whatever your personal situation is, the thing is that you have to deal with it in a way that you accept is sensible. Now that might mean sometimes cutting a finger to save a hand, right? You might have to take a loss. You might have to take a severe loss. But you know what? The people who get burnt in stock markets in every single economic boom time when it turns, when the bubble turns, are the people who hang on to that stock or who hang on to the property and say, don't worry, it's going to get back to where it was. Sorry. Like I said, those pictures earlier, they say it's time to wake up and smell the coffee. All right? So it will take time. Now, if you have the capacity, or maybe you just love this product and you want to stick it out for the next whatever time it takes for you to recover your profit, that's your choice, absolutely. But don't be surprised or accept the fact that sometimes you may have to just cut your losses and walk away, right? Because unlike other products where you just buy and you hold, these are, in many cases, property is a margin-based product. So you continue to need to feed it. And if you don't have the funds to feed it, then it'll cause trouble for you. So you have to make your decision. Consult. If you have stock that you currently can't sell, don't limit yourself to selling it through one agency. Consider 10. If you see the price in the paper is, let's say, 2,000 units per square foot, don't put it at 2,000. Put it at 1,800. You'll get more calls. Right now, like I said, it's a buyer's market. So the buyers are going out there and looking for product. Okay, well, not aggressively at the moment, but still, what I'm saying is, if you are going to keep your expectations over here, it's time to lower them and accept the loss and move on. I want to, share some final thoughts because it's, after all, we are in Imam Barga. We are in front of an audience that is a believing audience, and this is something that is close to my heart, and I sincerely believe in this. When we are in a situation where the money is pouring in and life is good and whatever, there is a slight tendency to maybe not, I speak for myself, let's say, 1% or 2%, even less than that, to forget or neglect the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? But then things change. But remember, whenever you forget or neglect, Allah never forgets you. And it's the Prophet, the prayer of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, فَدَعَهُ رَبُّهُ أَنِّي مَغْلُوبٌ فَانْتَصِرْ. So he says, then he called upon his Lord, verily I am overcome, so give help. Now what here is the important message is that you may feel like you're overwhelmed. You are like worrying about how your next payment is going to be. You're just, you've got somebody else's trust, your reputation is at stake, your funds are at stake, your life savings are at stake. But you know what? However bad things are, they could have been worse. You're here today, so take stock of yourself, put your faith back here into the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and remember, Rabbi inni maglubun fantasir wa anta khairun nasirin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.